He stood there in silence, medals glinting faintly under the courtroom lights. The judge smirked, tapping his pen against the desk. "Nice costume, soldier," he said mockingly. The room chuckled, but that laughter died the moment the courtroom doors burst open, and a decorated general walked in. What happened in that courtroom would change the lives of everyone in it. A single father, a forgotten veteran, and a truth so powerful that it silenced mockery forever. This is his story. Ethan Cole had once been a name whispered with pride in the army barracks. A decorated war veteran, he had served with courage, saving lives in the middle of chaos. But wars don't end when soldiers come home, they just change form. Now, years later, Ethan stood in a different kind of battlefield, a courtroom. His uniform replaced by a faded shirt, his heart heavy, and beside him sat his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, clutching a stuffed bear. Her big brown eyes watched everything, confused, scared, and trusting her dad completely. He was fighting not for a nation this time, but for custody of his daughter, the only light left in his life after losing his wife to illness 2 years earlier. His ex-wife's parents, wealthy and influential, had claimed Ethan was unfit. They said he was mentally unstable, unemployed, and faking his military past to gain sympathy. They'd even told the court that his medals were fake, a pathetic prop, as the mother-in-law called them. The judge, a man with an expensive suit and an ego to match, seemed to agree. "Mr. Cole," he said, squinting, "you expect this court to believe you're a decorated veteran? These trinkets," he gestured toward the medals Ethan had placed on the table, "look like something off eBay." Laughter rippled through the courtroom. Ethan said nothing. His hands trembled slightly, not from anger, but from holding back everything inside him. His attorney whispered, "Ethan, say something." But he couldn't. Words didn't come easy to a man who had seen more silence than sound in battle. The judge sighed, already writing notes. "Frankly, Mr. Cole, your record is full of inconsistencies. No employment, no stable home, and no proof of this so-called service." Lily's soft voice broke the silence. "My daddy's a hero." The room froze for a moment. Ethan's eyes watered. The judge only scoffed, "That's sweet, young lady. But we deal in facts here, not fairy tales." The audience chuckled again. Ethan's head dropped. The judge continued, "Until you can prove otherwise, I'm recommending full custody to the grandparents. Court will reconvene in," and that's when the doors swung open. A sharp sound echoed, boots on marble. Everyone turned. A tall man in full military uniform stepped in. His chest glittered with medals that shone like truth itself. The bailiff froze mid-step, recognizing the insignia. "General Marcus Harlow," the man announced, his voice carrying the authority of thunder. The judge blinked, confused. "Who are you, sir?" The general stepped forward. "I'm the commanding officer of Sergeant Ethan Cole." "And you, sir, owe this man an apology." The courtroom fell silent. The judge stammered, General, this is a custody hearing, not a..." The general raised a hand. "Then it's about time this court heard the truth." He walked to Ethan, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. "Sergeant, at ease." Ethan stood straighter, emotion tightening his jaw. The general turned to the courtroom. "This man saved my life. And not just mine. 27 soldiers owe their lives to his courage in the Kinner Valley. He carried wounded men through enemy fire for 6 hours without rest. He was decorated with the Silver Star for valor." Gasps filled the room. The grandparents sat speechless. The judge leaned back, visibly shaken. General Harlow reached into his coat and pulled out a file, official documentation from the Department of Defense. Every medal verified. Every action recorded. He placed the papers on the judge's desk with a heavy thud, "And for anyone in this room who thinks these are fake, you're welcome to explain that to the Pentagon." The judge swallowed hard. His arrogance melted into embarrassment. I had no idea." The general's eyes narrowed. "No, you didn't. Because heroes like Ethan don't brag. They suffer quietly, rebuild quietly, and love loudly. He's not perfect, no one who's seen war ever is, but he's the kind of man this country should be proud of." Lily stood and ran to her father, hugging his leg tightly. Ethan bent down, tears streaming as he held her. The judge cleared his throat. "Mr. Cole, I sincerely apologize. See now that this case has been mishandled. You are hereby granted full custody of your daughter." The courtroom erupted, not in laughter this time, but applause. Even the clerk wiped a tear. As people filed out, The general turned to Ethan. You shouldn't have to fight alone anymore, son. The world forgot you, but some of us remember. Ethan nodded, voice trembling. Thank you, sir. For standing up when no one else did. The general smiled faintly. You did the same for us once. They saluted, not as officer and soldier, but as men who'd both seen the cost of sacrifice. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, cameras flashing. But Ethan didn't care. Lily was in his arms, laughing through her tears. Daddy, she whispered, you told me heroes don't wear capes. He smiled, looking down at her. That's right, baby girl. Sometimes, they wear scars. The camera slowly pans up to the sky, the sunlight hitting Ethan's medals, real, hard-earned, and shining bright. In a world quick to judge, one man's truth silenced the noise. Ethan's story isn't just about medals, it's about dignity, perseverance, and the strength to keep standing even when the world mocks your fall. Because sometimes, the bravest battles are the ones fought outside the war zone.